feels good to be up on top. I didn't really expect I think I'd win as much as I have.
I won some moto. If I end up not winning the championship, it's not the end of the world. You know, I think I still prove that I can go really fast.
I'm still trying to learn ways to, pick up time and go faster.
You know, I realize if I want to, beat Dusty, I need to be a bit more aggressive because he's riding really aggressive at the beginning of the races.
I've been trying to put my head down and think of every way possible to shave down lap times every day I go practice.
You know, I like to win. I like to go fast on a dirt bike.
I'm going to go out there and do the best I can. If it happens, it happens. If not, then shitty, but that's the way it goes.
He beats me. Beats me once in a while. That's why I don't like it. I don't like it. That's the side I don't like.
Welcome to the Trans-Canada Walton, Ontario for round 9 of the 2006 Canadian Motocross Championships. Ryan Costa, Mark Travers, and Ryan Gold. Fab, let's get right into MX1 Championship Day. 9 points, Clatenois. It's going to be a beauty.
Oh, totally. It's a beauty because Clat DNF'd in Morin, Manitoba. He had a huge gap. One moto DNF, that's 25 points. Wah closed the door. Yesterday, they each won their qualifiers. They're both super fast out here. But on the timesheets, Dusty was a fraction faster than Wah. But Wah's got those 5 championships and racecraft. And he's going to be putting it all together to put on a show for us today.
In MX2, we have ourselves a shootout. We got 2 1s with Jimmy Nelson and Kyle Chisholm out on the track. That one's going to be awesome also.
Yeah, that's the beauty of an uneven amount of rounds. We have that east-west shootout, but man, oh man, we're in for some hold on to your seat racing in MX2.
Goldie, let's get to the track. A little bit of rain last night. Kind of soupy out here, but it's different than it was in the qualifiers yesterday.
Yeah, it's going to be really different today. The soup is on top, but the hardback is going to be coming through as the day wears on. So the choice lines are going to be there. So guys are coming in, the ruts are developing, long ruts, and in those ruts you got rocks and the wood chips coming through, so it's going to make nasty. But as those ruts develop, you're going to get 4, 5, 6 ruts in each of the corners. It's going to make line choice very key. The next thing here is we got lots of big jumps with hard pack faces, and as the day wears on, that hard pack comes through, it gets chopped out. Guys are going to be swapping out the faces. It's going to make for great TV. The next thing, though, is patience. Here at Walton, there's a few one-line sections where guys aren't going to be able to make too many passes. There's going to be some bar banging going on. So you got to be patient, sit back, pick your spots, wait for those long straights and the big wide turns to make those passes. And the guys that can do that are the guys that are going to come out on top today.
Oh, it's going to be fantastic. Well, while we're waiting here, let's go get caught up with those points.
Obviously, it's Clat with 9 points over Wah. That's the story today. Morgan, Holmans, Dubé, and Lockhart are probably safe with those numbers. Lange and Fasciati on thin ice, as is Grayson.
All right, let's get out onto the track with GG Boy and the Scott USA Helican.
That's right, Travis. This is just coming onto the back straight. Goldie just hanging it out here. Pin the throttle, you drop down at race speeds, and when it gets rougher, they're gonna land way down in that corner. Lots of lines here. Good traction where there's dirt, but where it's shiny, it's very hard pack and slippery. Love this big pro-only step-up that was introduced a few years ago here. Got to really hit it hard, wide open on the 250F bikes. I love this corner. You can really hang it out. Lots of options. You can kind of curve your own line there, not too rutted out. Added this big bank here this year, and they're trying to force guys to use it, but most guys staying low there. It's the fast way around. Goldie having some fun. Bangs off a little wheelie into a tunnel jump there. That's a double, triple option. Guys tripling it, land right close to the corner, and then get on the gas for the big step down, or the pipe jump, we used to call it. Come up here, you can see the dirt, few ruts starting to form. Traditionally, lots of ruts here. This year, it's looking pretty good. Couple of options there, outside, inside. We call that the roller coaster section. Really sweet view of the natural double. Goldie having fun, just wheelies over the tire there. Looks like he's just out there blasting around. This section, they cleared out a bunch of trees really tight. Semi-one line, passing It is very difficult here. You got to be super, super aggressive. We've had guys a lot faster than their competitors still not being able to get around. Go down this chute, up over there, another tunnel jump. A little taste of Walton for you.
All right, Fabs, let's meet those big guns for the MX2 shootout. We've got Kyle Chisholm on that Richmond Kawasaki and the 1W, Jimmy Nelson on that Blackfoot Honda.
The KTM camp is strong with Willard, sport number 15. He looks serious. Matt Barnes, the whole shot expert right there, as Ian Hayden looks on, number 62. And Johnny fast in the corners, Montez.
Oh, loving this stuff. There's GG Boy, Ryan Gold on that machine, Yamaha. And there's the ones getting ready for the shootout, Brian. Let's take her out to commercial. Cool Sunday morning here in Walton as we get ready for the first MX2 Moto. This is the Battlefield Shootout, Brian. Some of the best MX2 pilots in the country on the line. This moto will be brought to you by MSR Motocross Apparel. There's Jimmy Nelson and Kyle Chisholm. Love those ones out there, but watch out for the 15 of Willard. This one's going to be a banger.
Most of the fast guys are to the inside. It's a little bit drier dirt there, and it's a closer, shorter distance to the turn. So you'll notice a lot of the big players on the inside. Gate is down. Oh, Jimmy Nelson has big problems on that 1W. But look at that swarm of KTMs in there. It is Barnes with the whole shot. Chisholm's in the mix.
Beautiful start for the KTMs, Brian. I'm looking up, there's 4 KTMs in the top 5. And I see the Yamaha GG Boy, Ryan Gold as well. But look at Barnes take off. Number 27. Johnny Montez with a great start. Ian Hayden on the inside has Galdi.
Galdi's challenging Hayden right now. They funnel down this big high-speed straightaway. The track pretty smooth right now, and the traction is just primo. Now, the battle. Willard and Chisholm, Travis, they went at it all year in the East. Obviously, Chisholm taking that #1 plate, but Willard wants it bad.
We talked about Matt Barnes and how great he was in the starts. Look at how fast he is riding this track. He looked good here last year, but Kyle Chisholm is hot on him. Kyle Chisholm has something to prove on this track, Brian. He did not have a good shootout last year. Look at him on the inside. Oh, great line for Barnes as he smoked him off.
Barnes has got a lot to prove as well. Chisholm jumped way further down there, but Barnes closed the door. Looks to me like Chisholm is the aggressor right now, but this is where Barnes has to prove himself. And you know, he's been pretty good with the pressure.
He sure has, but he just hasn't had the speed of these two riders. Finished third in the MX2 East. Oh, Chisholm on the outside. Where the heck is Willard? There he is on the inside with a great line through the FMF right-hander.
Chisholm tried to make the pass, open the door for Willard. Willard takes a peek. Look, now Willard's on the inside. He's got the advantage. He can do the crisscross. He does, and he passes Kyle Chisholm. Now he's showing Barnes the wheel. This is spectacular. I can't believe this action on the first lap.
Ride the inside line through the Volter. Oh, Barnesy with a big booter, but Willard's got the inside line, and he has the lead on that 2007 KTM.
Willard had to speed up the face, but actually sealed the deal on braking there. Much more commanding on the back brake. Just put himself right in front of his teammate. Here's the whole setup. Number 15, Willard, takes a peek on the inside because Chisholm leaves the door open. He's worrying about Barnes. All of a sudden, Willard comes out of nowhere. They crisscross. Look at the style. Both spectacular. Actually, all 3 spectacular riders. Barnes having fun out front, styling for the crowd. Willard, all business, gets right in there, and you can see him getting that brake action into that Walton soil. Pass is made. Willard's got the lead.
Here he is coming through that straight hander. Oh, is he on the pipe, Brian? That is a rough part of the track. Usually rutted right now, just with a lot of braking bumps. Second and third going by. Here's the battle for fourth. Montez and Jimmy Nelson. Whoa, they're carrying speed.
And as we saw at the start, Nelson had a terrible start, had contact. He got like 7 out of 8 hole shots in the West. Here where it matters at the shootout. Got a crap start.
Johnny Montez riding a great race right now, Brian, holding off #1W. Look at Chisholm on the inside, looking for that Willard line. Barnes will have none of it, though. He is on the pipe early.
Barnes is holding his lines. It's up to Chisholm to make the mistake, and there it is. Chisholm makes a mistake trying to get around him. Barnes is in the driver's seat.
Brian, we've got a problem out there. Looks like Montez and Nelson have gone down.
Yes, they got tangled up. This track is very difficult to pass on. Nelson showing his frustration, trying to pass Montez. They both end up in a heap.
Look how aggressive Willard is in the lead, and he's opened up the gap on second place, Brian. Chisholm has not got around Barnes yet. Very surprised with that.
He's been looking very threatening every corner of every lap here. Barnes holding his own. I like what I'm seeing from him. Chisholm trying everything. Uh-oh, Adam Deacon down. He's got a problem right there. And you know, his uncle is the orthopedic surgeon to the Stars. Fabulous story there.
even though we have a wide track here, Brian, kind of tight in areas, and it seems like the riders are having a hard time getting around. They're not carrying speed wide in the corners like we saw last week in Sand Del. Chisholm with the inside line, brushing Barnes wide, takes second place.
That's the way you got to do it out here. You got to get very physical and just take the line away. There's definitely passing, but you really have to be methodical and really figure it all out to make it happen cleanly. This is the battle for fifth now. Montez and Nelson back at it. Nelson does not want to get tangled up with Johnny again. He looks safe there on the outside, and Ian Hayden right there splitting the hairs.
Nelson on the outside. Oh, he is the danger man. You see the way he almost got into Montez's line, took over sixth place, and now he's moving up on Hayden for fifth. Boy, these KTMs are fast, Brian. 4 of them in the top 6, but Nelson will not be denied. Does he have Hayden? Not yet.
You can see how much faster Nelson is there, and he still can't make the pass. A very tight tree section there. Very one line, but it is a fun section of the track. More so for the spectators and the riders, I think.
Willard in the lead, loving this track, Brian. He was our shootout winner last year. Look at Nelson on the inside of Ian Hayden. This is for fifth place. Over the tunnel jump as he triples in and takes fifth. Oh, Brian, what a great line that is. That's the wall line, if you will.
Probably one of the best passing opportunities on this track. Back to Chisholm now. He's starting to be all alone in second. Zeb Dennis and Craig Doobie having a wicked battle for 11th. Very impressed with number 71, Zeb Dennis out here, because we know how well Doobie's been doing out here in the East.
Some problems through the bowl turn for number 176, Andrew Bellini, finishing the top 10 in the MX2 West, Brian.
He sure did. He's got serious issues. Gauldy now had serious issues with Jimmy Nesson. Gauldy riding great out here, holding up the top Canadian honor right now. Gauldy in fourth under heavy pressure from Jimmy Nelson.
Oh, look at our leader. Oh, my, Brian. Oh, my is all I have to say about our leader, number 15. Look at Nelson on the outside. He triples in, but Gauldy holding that inside line. Oh, Gauldy with the checkoff, Brian. Never good coming into this back section.
Gauldy doesn't want to do anything stupid here. He knows Jimmy's a very fast rider. He's on a great motorcycle. Gauldy's got a super fast Bondi engine bike as well, but I think Gauldy's pretty content there to follow Jimmy around.
Teammates, pseudo teammates, 27. Montez on the inside takes care of Ian Hayden. Looks like Hayden was backing off a little bit. A lot of chop coming down to that corner.
Montez seems to shine towards the end of the moto, showing me that he's in great shape. He makes a lot of late moto charges. Back to our third place man, Barnes there. Now, there's Montez all over Gauldy. This is for fifth. And the prestigious honors of top Canadian. So Gauldy's got to hang on tight. Gauldy has a problem behind the trees. We couldn't quite see him skip out of a rut. Montez takes it, but it ain't over yet.
We had some rain last night, Brian. It made this track real tacky, not only in practice, but in this first moto. I like the way it's setting up for later stages in the day.
Actually, the track is mid right now. Very, very well done.
Oh, no. Johnny Montez goes down, Brian. Just in a seemingly innocent corner to the right, drops the bike down, has to get it fired up.
I don't know if that's a matter of mind over matter or what, but Gauldy takes the position, so he's safe in fourth right now. He's got a big gap on fifth. Just saw the battle for 11th off the floater, and Chisholm all alone in second. Of course, Willard with that huge breakaway speed has pulled a big gap.
Chisholm getting his last lap flag. Here comes our leader, number 15, Michael Willard on that Stone Ridge Shoes KTM. That's the 2007 KTM, and man, does he look good on that bike, Brian.
I can see them smiling in Austria. 07 KTM does it.
All right, let's get to our leaderboard. First MX2 shootout moto, Willard, Chisholm, and Barnes, your top 3. Nelson makes it back to 4th. Gauldy, top Canadian. Hayden, Hoyer, Craig Dubé, and Johnny Montez in 9th.
Michael, you came out here, you beat your arch rival, you got to be stoked on the new bike.
Yeah, you know, Sir from Orange Motorsports let me borrow actually his wife's 07 KTM, and you know, KTM wanted to get some show out there, but they haven't been able to get any bikes for the race team yet, so you know, I wanted to go out there and just show everybody that I can still be number 1, and you know, I want to win the Walton East-West shootout too, so it should be good.
Great ride for third, buddy. You don't look too happy.
You know, I was got the whole shot and just thought I was going fast enough, but they started pulling away a little bit. Chisholm and Willard kind of got around me, but I held a good pace, and I'm pretty happy with the ride.
Well, there's the champ, JSR, 9 points down as he wheelies into position. Welcome back to Walton, Ontario. This is the final round of our 2006 series. There's a couple of Blackfoot boys on the line. They're going to be on the podium come the end of the season. This first MX1 moto will be brought to you by Don Joy Knee Bracing. Good shot at number 49, Andy Matthew, privateer from the United States. There's Mason Phillips, newly acquired Richmond Racing Kawasaki pilot. Rockin' Randy Hall with the Frankenstein 30. It is up. It's go time, Brian, for the premier class.
Oh, 2.5. This is it right now. All or nothing for John Sebastian Waugh and Dusty Klatt. And the gate is down. Both those Blackfoot bikes get a great jump. Looks like Waugh has the whole shot, but no. Dusty Klatt tucks right in, and look at Blair Morgan with that sneaky inside line with gate pick number 1. Looks like he's got the champ in second.
Number 9, Dusty Klatt with that Royal Distributing hole. Yeah! 3 Blackfoot bikes coming into corner number 3. Oh my, and NorCal with a great start.
And Chuck Mesley, number 45 on the Machine Honda. Also with the Bondi engine, looks great, as does number 4, KJ on the Ocean Transport Suzuki. But Waugh slips by Blair Morgan into the braking zone, puts him in a second. Waugh has got some unfinished business to take care of with Dusty Klatt.
We've been waiting for Blair Morgan. He had a great start all season long. Brian, he was in second, now back to third. But how about Chuck Mesley getting stronger as the season goes on? Here's that start again. Oh, Tim Trombley with some issues. Klatt with a great line on the inside.
Absolutely, and NorCal as well. But here it is. Waugh seemingly has the whole shot, but right before the whole shot line, Klatt just uses Waugh for a little bit of traction on the inside. Oh, what a sick scrub whip by Dusty Klatt off the Scott. Air Max USA walk-off cam. I always enjoy this shot on the first lap of the boys funneling through. Oh, look at the aggression on Klatt. Oh, and Waugh. The track has just been disked here, so it's open season and wicked traction. John Sebastian Waugh finds a hard spot, has a bit of a moment, but he's looks like he's recouped in second.
That is a bit of a wake-up call, Brian. The gap right now, just under a second with Blair Morgan in third, NorCal in fifth. And look at Chuck Mesley. He is flying today on that Bondi engine Machine Racing Honda.
No question about it. Love to see Chuck Mesley with this start. Him and Northrop are pretty close, and they're about the same body type, too. They're both a little shorter, real stocky guys, and they tangle quite a bit in the MX-1.
You want to be impressed with 2 guys out here, Brian. Number 25, Jeff Northrop, and Chuck Mesley. 2 guys that will be riding in the top 10 next year.
I gotta see Mesley on a factory bike, because he's privateering it for the most part. He's got his dad as his mechanic. He's had no mechanic at a couple rounds, and look at the talent of the guy.
Oh, Brian, look at this. We've got a change in the lead. John Sebastian Waugh is in the lead. Dusty Klatt's in second.
Oh, my goodness. We just had a report that Dusty Klatt tipped over a berm there in the back section, kept the motorcycle running just enough for Klatt to lose a position. And look at Waugh in that blue gear. We haven't seen him in the blue gear much this year. It's working for him in Walton here.
Both of these riders in that 07 Fox gear, man, they look good. But look at the gap right now. John Sebastian Waugh finding some good lines out there. Oh no, Mesley falling back a little bit. Mason Phillips, number 228, pressuring. And here comes the 50 of Tim Trombley on that privateer Yamaha.
Ryan Lockhart just back a bit. Trombley had a terrible start, and he seemed to have gained a lot of possessions, taking the inside line. A real sneaky line off the start if he can tuck in. Works for Trombley.
Remember, the gap in the lead right now is 9 points. Brian, oh, Mesley with a bit of a problem. Phillips on the outside. He's liking this track, Brian. He looked great yesterday in practice.
Absolutely, and on that 450 Kawasaki, that is a first-year effort from Kawasaki, and the bike getting great reviews and working well.
Brian, our leaders are pushing it right now, opening up the gap on third place. Looks like Phillips has gotten by Mesley. Now he's working up on KJ Keith Johnson, who got a great start today.
New Zealander Phillips, a great addition to the series, and I know he's looking for a ride for next year in Canada. He just loves it up here. The people, the tracks, the places. Back to the front of the pack. Klatt has got the hammer down. He's got his head up. He's looking at Waugh. And you know, once Klatt gets a little closer, he can source out all Waugh's lines, and that's going to play an important role in that battle.
Brian, number 228, Mason Phillips on that Richmond Kawasaki has got some issues. He's off to the side of the track, and he had such a great start. Number 7, Blair Morgan on that Blackfoot Honda. Oh my goodness, he looked good in third place. There's Phillips off the side of the track.
There's those 4 strokes for you. They just do not have the reliability yet of the old 2 strokes, but they are the wave of the future. Look at this. Klatt has closed the door right here, Travs, and he's searching around. Look, he's using Waugh's lines. Oh, ay, ay, ay. This is what we paid to get in for.
He is the first rider in years that has been able to pressure Waugh and force Waugh into mistakes. As he scrubs off the tunnel jump, Brian, he just is looking for an opportunity, and he's going to wait until he gets it.
Klatt's super aggressive right now, taking the alternate lines now. That tells me he's getting ready to strike. John Sebastian Waugh has had to step up his game. So huge this year, thanks to Dusty Klatt. Even though Klatt's won more motos, I've never seen Waugh this fast. He is still in his prime.
Outside speed, Brian. Klatt over the natural double has the lead. Boy, that's a stamp of authority if I've seen one right there.
Wow, is it ever from the outside? What a creative line by Dusty Klatt. He is just working it out here. Look at the body English on Klatt, just laying it over. But Waugh also riding beautiful. Here it is. I don't know if that lapper affected Waugh, but Klatt just comes in around the outside, just rides right around our 5-time champ. And they both just landed like butter. We're going trackside with Ryan Gold for an Ocho report.
All right, starting to get into heavy lappers down here. Check this out, guys. Race action. Dusty Klatt just making the pass on JSR. JSR wants this championship, but I'll tell you what, he's going to have to pick it up because Dusty means business here this weekend. I was looking at him. He's on the line with his eyes closed. He's definitely focused. Let's get back to action, boys.
Nice work, Galdi. Oh, look at number 19, Ryan Lockhart on the inside of Tim Tremblay for 7th, Brian. Great pass.
Lockhart looking extremely solid. Back to the battle for 16th, 881. That's Ignition Products. Brad Adams takes care of Tyler Fenn right there.
Whoa!
Oh no, Adams goes down.
Big crosswind for Adams.
Battling like this all throughout the field. Guys pushing hard. Back to Mesley and Lockhart. Travs, these two are no strangers on the racetrack, man. And look at this, Mesley just rallies around the outside.
Lockhart riding tentatively with 6 overall wrapped up, Brian, but I love the speed that Mesley's carrying this track. He always does well here at Walton.
Yeah, the hometown crowd gets him fired up. But back to Lockhart, you're right. He doesn't have to do anything stupid. He can ride very conservatively. He just wants to preserve national number 6. Now, Homans with national number 6. He's got Dubé all over his back fender. This is for 12th place. Both these guys got terrible jumps off the gate.
Homans had a bad start, but remember Marco Dubé crashed yesterday, is riding hurt, just trying to conserve his number 5. Mesley on the inside of Medaglia. That guy is on a tear, Brian. He's gone down twice in this moto with Blair Morgan in 3rd.
Tyler Medaglia having a great day. Morgan just working the track. He knows Dusty and Waugh are ahead, and he knows he's the 3rd fastest guy in the field. A huge gap to 4th. So Morgan just biding his time, riding smart. The battle for 7th through the trees. Medaglia looks like he's got a little bit of trouble from Lockhart. Nice big wall corner here. Very exciting for the tree people there in the IMX gallery.
Lockhart on the inside.
What a pass.
Medaglia very tentatively coming in there, Brian. Remember that 2 lines into 1. Lockhart, yeah, he's looking aggressive in that back section.
Absolutely, and you know, as the motos wind down, the guys get tired, then the passes come a bit easier for the guy in shape. So we can see that happening out here on this track. John Sebastian Waugh, he loves this place. He's just massaging his way through, Travis.
Pair of Susies. There's number 4, KJ, looking good in 5th place right now, getting the last lap flag. A great start and a good way for him to finish. Look at this Klatt getting up to lap number 57, Tyler Medaglia on his last lap. But here comes Tim Tremblay pressing for 8th on the outside through the off-camera. Brian, a couple of young Canadians who showed really well last weekend. Oh, and Sandalene, they're banging bars out there, no problems.
Are they ever? And these guys would be in direct competition for factory support for next year. Both young up-and-comers that have proved their worth this year. Dusty Klatt coming back from a fall to pass the champ. 12 points puts him 1 notch closer to taking the crown. Stick around, we got more great racing coming up after this break.
Wow, what a moto for those 2 Blackfoot pilots. A great one. Let's get into our leaderboard for the first MX1 moto. 3 Blackfoot boys up front. NorCal with a great ride in 4th. KJ in 5th. Lovin Mesley in 6th. Let's go down to Medaglia in 8th. And Albuquerque Keith in 10th.
I bobbled in the corner over there, fell over. You know, the route was kind of square and caught my front end and I fell over. But no, I got up and, you know, JSR was there and I just wanted to put on a show for everyone. And, you know, it is the last race. And, you know, even though I could just settle for second, you know, coming out with the win's always nice. So I pushed hard and I was glad I could put on a good race for everyone.
Yeah, I was giving everything, and I was wide open. I think I dropped my lap time 4 seconds from yesterday, so that was I was riding a bit over my, not over my head, just pushing really hard, and then I got a bit tight, like arm popped a little bit, and then Dusty went by and he pulled away, but that was all right. That was fun.
Okay, the Freestyle Minute. I love this band. They are the Planet Smashers, and this tune just rocks. Bullets to the ground. Check it out. Turn it up.
Come take my ride. The vacuum beckons me outside. And in my mind, all circuits switch to overdrive. Is this the time? 1 single second to decide. We're going down like bullets to the ground. We're going down like bullets to going down. And near the speed of sound, we're going down, down, down. Bullets to the ground.
Oh, great job by the Planet Smashers. That one was for you, Lestrack. Second MX2 shootout moto coming up. Getting ready to take care of business, the Battlefield MX2 shootout second moto. Brian, the start of the first moto, actually the moto was red flagged. We had a crash in the first corner. Andrew Boleyn was down really hard. Detail it for us.
Yeah, it was a terrible thing to witness. Boleyn just gets caught up in the field there and gets mowed by a couple bikes. Doesn't look good, but he actually eventually got around under his own power once the paramedics took him off the track. And just an ugly racing incident there, and just gets grazed there by Ben Scheckenberger, a Pro-Am rider. But Boleyn, okay, after all is said and done, and back to the restart, Travers.
This MX2 moto will be brought to you by ANSA Racing. Got Rockin' Randy Hall with that 30 board up. We got a couple empty spots in the gate. Brian, usually happens for that second moto. Frankenstein to 5, funneling down on the gate. Having a look at the pair of ones on the inside. Then Golden and number 15, Michael Willard, who got a great jump off the gate. Nelson on the inside, but no, number 15, Michael Willard with that roll distributing hole.
How about that? And those KTMs. Hayden in there again, as is Barnes. And the battle we've been waiting for with Jimmy Nelson and Michael Willard is about to happen. They are side by side, two abreast down the high-speed straight, and Chisholm's having a peek as well, ducking the roost.
Nelson very aggressive with a great start here in that second moto. Thought he had Willard on the outside, but no way. Look at the look on the inside, but Willard very aggressive. Great defense from Willard. We've been talking about when he leads a moto, look out, he can hold on to it.
Willard shoved him wide there big time. He had his eyes peeled. He knew where Nelson was, and he said, Jimmy, I'm taking you to the banners, buddy. So the racing back on. Barnes just gets past. Chisholm takes over third.
Chisholm into third place. Let's see if we can get Chisholm up into this and make it a 3-pack. Number 15, Michael Willard in front on that KTM. But Jimmy Nelson on fire right now in second place through the Scott MX lock-off cam, Brian, down into the valley.
This is what we've been waiting for. I'd love to see Chisholm tag on to those top two riders and make this a three-way battle for the lead. Jimmy Nelson getting aggressive. Berm shotting it on the inside, but Willard has the line coming out. That's the thing with those S-bends. Oh, and Jimmy Nelson hangs a foot peg there, gets a little bobble, but this is far from over. Chisholm's got the best seat in the house.
Jimmy Nelson is so aggressive, Brian. You know he was furious about that fourth place finish in that first moto, and he is on fire right now. He wants the lead. Look at Hayden with another great start. There's Golden, Ryan Gold with a great start. And who's behind him? Number 170, Craig Dubé, a great privateer from Northeastern United States.
Look at Dubé, just a little guy. He's tiny on the bike. I love to see those little guys coming up on the big bikes like that. He has got a horsepower advantage off the starts, and Doobie getting great starts. Galdi in control right now. When the track gets rougher, Ryan Gauld moves closer to the front of the pack because he knows how to pick lines.
Very smooth out there, right? You're right, Brian. He is, you call him the owl of the sand. He knows this track as well. Look at the battle for the lead. Jimmy Nelson looks like he's falling right now, Brian. This track is tight in areas, although there's all kinds of options. I want to see riders take them.
This track is prepared just masterfully here. One of the nicest tracks we've seen here in years. The rut's not quite a factor as they usually are. In here, though, there is some long, deep ruts, but options are everywhere. Jimmy swings wide, comes up, there it is. He's got him on the inside. What a textbook maneuver right there.
No, he went up high in that berm, Brian, lost a little bit of time. Here comes Willard on the inside. Oh, my goodness. Two abreast over the title jump, the two-wheel title jump. What a great line for Willard. Gets past, but then gets aggressive and makes it back into the lead.
You can't buy this kind of action on the racetrack. Jimmy still looking around, made the pass, but I love the way Willard took him right back. Jimmy Nelson is not used to it. And Jimmy pushing the envelope right there, slamming the front wheel down, landing a bit hard.
We saw him out in the West, Brian. He was almost always in the lead, and when he wasn't, he was trying everything he could to get in the lead, and that's the kind of tenacity I'm seeing from him right now. But I want to see him open up a little bit, Brian. He's freight trained.
Yeah, he is. He's trying to take alternate lines, but in some of the corners, there really is one good line. We're missing Teddy Mayer out here, who gave Jimmy Nelson fits out in the West Coast. Teddy Mayer broke his ankle a few weeks ago. So he's there's Ben Schenkenberger. He won the junior championship in Canada last year, Pro-Am rider. He went completely under helmet and all. He went for a swim.
Get out the scuba gear. Best name in Canadian motocross, Schneckenberger. Over the tunnel jump, Brad Lamb. And number 145, Brock Hoyer, riding for that factory Yamaha team, the Morgan Toyota boys.
That's right. That's the second race under the factory Toyota Yamaha tent. Brock Hoyer, a future star of our sport. And I love the opportunity that the Yamaha camp has given him this season. Now, Travis, the battle for fifth. Craig Dubé riding amazing. He's got Hayden right there.
Ian Hayden's a great starter, Brian, but I want him to get more aggressive on the track. Like this section of the track requires you to be aggressive. Oh, did you see how rough that one rut is? And then 2-to-1 into that right-hander.
That rut is some deep as well. That is well over axle depth. And I like Jimmy trying different ruts in these corners. Now, Galdi on the outside makes his own line through the nice loam there. Gets a good drive and is positioning himself on the inside, so we'll have to keep abreast of that little Canadian duel.
That's the line of choice going into that high bank left-hander. There's the 1E of Kyle Chisholm in third place. The battle for the lead, Brian, has been spectacular. I love how aggressive Jimmy Nelson is, and yet we've been talking about Willard's defense all season long. He's spectacular on that bike.
Willard stepping up. You can see Willard getting a bit squirrely on the track. He is pushing hard. Now, Johnny Montez on his teammate. The Stone Ridge KTM of Montez versus the Royal Distributing KTM of Hayden. That is for seventh. And you know, Stone Ridge, that is a division of Aldo Shoes, who's been affiliated with KTM for years.
Johnny Montez, very impressive in the shootout here this weekend. Back into the trees. Oh my goodness. Oh, there's Barnesy sitting comfortably in fourth place with a nice booter. And here's Kyle Chisholm now working up on that two-pack for the lead. He's closing the gap.
Kyle Chisholm looking really good out there, but Barnes still having fun in fourth. I like to see that from Matt Barnes.
Uh-oh, we got some lapper trouble here. Number 67, Kyle Snellgrove. This section is tight, Brian, and look at Snellgrove, a very aggressive move for a lapper. Looks like he got in Nelson's way, up over the lifter. Oh, no, and Nelson is not happy.
I don't think Snellgrove meant any harm there. It looked to me like he was just following his line, but Jimmy, not too pleased. This could be what Jimmy needs, that little bit of anger to make his move on Willard, because I think the only way Jimmy's going to get by Willard is with a little contact.
Remember, the gap opened right up, and as fast as Willard's riding right now, Jimmy Nelson did not want that. It looked to me like Snellgrove got a little aggressive in that line, didn't want to give it up. Number 1E, Kyle Chisholm in third place.
He's riding just beautifully, just a little off the pace. Now, back. Galdi's got his mitts full of Montez again. He's taking care of Hayden. This is the battle for six. Montez gets him through the inside-outside little sweepers before the big step up. Johnny Montez showing well, and there it is, last lap.
If those positions stay the same, Galdi will be top Canadian in the MX2 shootout, Brian. Great for him. Number 15, Michael Willard on his final approach. Man, does he look good on that bike.
The beer will be flowing in Austria. First time on Canadian soil. The 07 bike takes the East-West shootout win. Willard, perfect. Chisholm has a good day. Jimmy Nelson, very disappointed with his performance. Ryan Gauld hangs on for top Canadian.
I mean, Michael rode a great race, and I tried everything I could do, and just came out second this time. You know, I won all the overalls in the West, so I wanted to come here and try to win this, but you know, it just didn't work out. I tried my hardest. First moto I went down, but hopefully next year we can do a little bit better here.
Couldn't get my groove today. I don't know. I just couldn't push myself out there, and I think the last two laps of that moto will be my best laps of the day. And I felt good finally. I finally found a good rhythm, and but it was over after that. Those guys, you know, inched away from me, and they rode a great race, and it was good. I just wish I could have been up there battling with them.
You know, I just wanted to come out here and show everybody that I can win and win the shootout. I won it last year, and I did it again today. I knew it's kind of hard to pass today. It's a little one line, but you know, I just made the best of it and set a pace and rode good.
How impressive was Willard today? Picks up an extra G note from Battlefield. Well done.
The final moto of the year, number 9 and number 1 have been battling all year. There's a 12-point difference. JSR's gonna need a miracle, fellas. I'll tell you what, he wants to go out at least with a moto win here for next year. And I was talking to him, and there was a semi, not too sure what's going on next year. So this could be JSR's last time at Walton, but hey, time to go racing, boys.
Great job, Galdi. Okay, let's get to the final motor of the season, and it will be brought to you by MX Performance Magazine. Good shot of Morgan and Clad on the inside of the gate, Brian, and that 07 Fox gear rocking Randy Hall with the Frankenstein 30 up. Let's check out where it was.
You know what's awesome right now is these guys aren't in the rut. There's a traditional rut from all the other motos. These guys have come right out of the rut onto the smooth dirt. So those boys on the inside of the Honda guys, that is Ryan Gould's trick from the first moto. They're getting great jumps and And it's Dusty Klatt taking the Royal distributing hole. Shit!
He did the same thing to Waz he did in the first moto.
Exactly.
Well, looked like he had the whole shot, and then Klatt on the inside just busted him wide. Now opening up the gap from first to second. Remember, 12 points separating those two. Keep your eyes on it. Morgan in third, and NorCal with a great start.
It's like a mirror image of the first moto. We got a lot of key players up in the top 10. Mason Phillips are rounding it out on the Richmond Cali. Oh, big swap for both Northrup and Blair Morgan, charging in with the wheel locked. When you hit those kickers, that's what happens. But those guys are so cool, I bet you the heart rate didn't even spike.
Blair Morgan using more of the track, Brian, going outside through the step-up and showing great technique in the land as they get into that off-camber, moves into third. But NorCal's been so impressive on the big bike, Brian. He's going to ride up here next year, guaranteed.
I hope so. Blair Morgan, do you see, his technique when he landed just eases the weight back to get a little extra traction there and pull the measure on Northrup. Northrup on that factory RMC, and Blair Morgan is actually using one of Dusty Klatt's factory engines this weekend. So that's a first for Blair.
Brian, what a tragedy that Darcy Lange is not out on the track, and Fasciotti, because Fasciotti, Lange, and Morgan would have been going bang, bang, bang all the way across the country with the boys bundling through the Scott MX lock-off cam.
You throw Gavin Graysick in there, man, and Kyle Keast, all the key players out of it, but the track tilled up nice again. Waugh fighting for some traction there, getting on it a bit early. Look at him, just working the track. They're trying to catch Dusty Klatt. Blair Morgan through the fastest corners on the track. The spectator gallery, my favorite part of this racetrack, because the riders can really showcase their cornering skills here.
Matt Lee, Tom Bitts, and crew have put together a spectacular track for us today, Brian. It's the best I've ever seen it. Remember, this is the last motor of the day. Oh, 671, Alexander down.
Yanking the goggles there. He is definitely hurt. Looks like he's favoring the left hand there. He's right in front of that catch grass at the pond. Back to racing. Chuck Mesley on Ryan Lockhart again. And you know, Mesley's got to be one of the most fearless guys to line up on the gate. And this is 10th place they're fighting for.
Coming back from a bad femur break last year, Brian. Looks like he's finally starting to get his mojo. Love that guy on the big bike. Say no more.
Factory ride for Chuck Mesley has to be in his cards. He deserves it big time. He's earned it. He came into the season out of shape, getting stronger every weekend. Now, Blair Morgan, what can we say about his year on the Blackfoot Honda? He has been spectacular. You know, he did have an injury at the end of Snowcross, and he's still coming strong.
So smooth he is out there. Oh, Lockhart gets hung up, and Albuquerque Keith slips by through that 2-to-1 section. Brian in the right-hander.
I think Lockhart caught his gear shifter there on the left side of the bike in that deep rut and kind of jacked him into false neutral. Number 30, Chad Charbonneau right there, and number 4, KJ Keith Johnson with some really sneaky lines.
Oh.
And Homan sees that line, he's kind of thinking, wow, that's a good line, ends up on his head.
You saw how shiny it was right there. Very slick, Brian. Same line that Montez went down with in that first MX2 moto. Look at Waugh getting into lappers. He's got to make something happen right now. Even if Klatt finishes second, he will take the championship.
Wow, Waugh's riding well. And when the track gets technical, the lappers come up quicker. Now, Homan's recovering after his crash. 7th place with Tyler Medaglia. Medaglia opting out of the MX2 class to focus on MX1. He is in the hunt for a factory ride as well. And doing well here at the last round could secure just that.
Simon Holmans didn't get a great start in that first moto, but looks very strong after going down. Dusty Klatt all alone. Really, Waugh's right behind him though, Brian. The gap is under 5 seconds.
It sure is. Effortlessly up that floater on the big 450 bikes. This obstacle here is pretty cool. If you get it wrong, you can flatland the other side. You're in for a whole world of hurt. Now, Charbonneau, aggressive on Lockhart. Lockhart knows he's got nothing to prove. He doesn't really need to race Charbonneau. I think he's just biding his time. Spectators might not like it, but it's smart racing. He wants to ensure he has national number 6 next year.
Number 30, Chad Charbonneau, has been riding very well in the last 2 rounds of this MX1 class, Brian. I like his style, very smooth. NorCal, number 25, has some issues. You saw KJ go by for 4th. That would have been 2 4s for NorCal today. Too bad.
Obviously, the bike just quit there. We'll have to get a report to see exactly what it is. Holman's going wide on Tremblay. Look at the great traction he gets outside of the rut. If you give me between the ruts, you get the drive. Tremblay sitting in 5th. This is huge. And you know, if they're both French-Canadians, if Holman's, the factory rider, gets beat by Tremblay, ooh, that's not good.
Dusty Klatt, the pinball over the natural double, leading this moto. And there's Waugh, Mr. Schmoo, going into that left-hander. Remember, look at Blair Morgan, not too far behind in 3rd.
This moto is tighter than we think. Roy is catching. He's only about 3 seconds behind Dusty, and then about another 4 or 5 seconds back to Blair.
Number 50, that's the privateer Tim Trombley, who has been impressing everybody late in this season, and the factory rider number 6, Simon Homans. Mesley getting into the mix, and number 4, KJ Keith Johnson, looking good in fourth, Brian. This guy wanted to end the season strong, and he's doing exactly that.
He is all alone out there. He is just putting around the track, holding on to fourth. He doesn't need to do anything crazy. Now 10th place on the line. Very important for Lockhart to beat Vidalia. He stepped up his pace as soon as Vidalia showed his face. Now Chuck Mesley all over Homans. This is for 6th place. Mesley up the inside. Looks like he's got the line of choice. Forces Homan wide, but no, Homans gets the power down on that 450 Yamaha out in the loamy dirt. It ain't over yet. Chucky, get on the gas. He's got to get physical right now. He gets physical, but Homans has a little bit more room on the outside, Travs, and holds on to position.
I like Mesley's line choice, but you're right. Homans was carrying more speed. Popping out of the rut for Chuck Mesley. But an impressive day right now, Brian, working up into the top 10. And both of those riders were working up on number 50, Tim Trombley, who was in 5th. Dusty Clatt through the bowl turn, Brian. Where is Wah? That is the question. Right behind him, about 5 seconds back.
Yeah, Dusty actually pulled it out a bit there. Mesley definitely lost a position or two in his bobble. Now back to Homans on Trombley. That's getting interesting. Blair all alone in 3rd. The crowd cheering him at every corner. 3rd place on the last lap.
Getting his last lap flag, Brian. This battle's been going on for laps. Number 50, Tim Trombley, the privateer, with the factory rider Homans on the outside. Brian, number 50, Tim Trombley, is a big man. Look at the size of these guys. They're exactly the same.
This is only good for Trombley, not good for Homans. Trombley looks like he's got the measure. We've only got 2 gets cross-rutted. A gift for Simon Homans. I tell you what, Tim Trombley's going to be reviewing this tape and kicking himself in the head. Simon Homans takes 5th, Trombley 6th.
Trombley podium last weekend in the MX2 class to round out that season, Brian. Super impressive. To number 9, Dusty Clatt. Final approach, Brian. This is it. He is going to win the championship coming up. He gets the checkered flag, Brian. Dusty Clatt is our new champion.
And Dusty stalls the bike in his haste to celebrate. John Sebastian Waugh is there to congratulate the new champion. 5-time champ Waugh has to concede the number 1 plate to young upstart Dusty Clatt. What a story we've had this year. John Sebastian Waugh, a true gentleman, congratulating the new champ.
Hey, who's having fun? You are, and you are. Good times here in Walton. Let's get to our leaderboard. 2nd MX1 Moto. You know your top 3. They're Blackfoot boys. KJ looking good in 4th. Homans in 5th. Tim Trombley in 7th. Chad Charbonneau 8th. And Medallia in 10th.
To the MX1 overall top 10s. Homans, Dubé, and Lockhart kick it up a notch. Johnson moves down. Lange holds on to 8th. Mesley takes top 10, as does Fasciati.
Blair, man, an awesome year. You're coming back after some injuries in snowcross and get on that Blackfoot team, and things just cruised all summer for you.
Yeah, it was. It didn't start that well for me, but near the end after the Manitoba round, just on the podium every time, and that's what I wanted to do all year. But it's good. I feel good. Dusty and Jay started riding so fast. I'm just happy with 3rd actually. I'm just really happy with the team. Awesome 1, 2, 3 this year. It's like a dream season.
JSR. Jean, man, an unbelievable year for your whole team. I know this definitely isn't the number that you wanted, but I'll tell you what, man, you and Dusty are going so fast this summer.
Yeah, thanks. We've been pushing each other quite a bit, I think, every weekend, and Dusty made me go a little faster than I usually go, I think. So, but no, it was a great season for Blackfoot Racing, Honda, and all the sponsors behind us did an awesome job.
All right, I asked you this earlier. I'm going to ask you now and put you on the spot. Are we going to see a number 2 plate next year on the track or what?
I'll be back in Walton for sure next year, and then the rest of the season, I'm not sure yet. I'll find out in the next couple of weeks, but hopefully I'll be back for another season or 2.
Mr. Dusty Clatt!
Oh yeah, crowd, check it out. Look at that shiny thing. You are the champ. How's it feel?
Unbelievable, man. Such a good year, and it's just awesome. My mechanic Peter Keaton kept my Blackfoot Honda running all year, and I just got so many people to thank. Jason Mitchell at Blackfoot Racing for giving me this opportunity all along, and BR2 Motors, BRI Suspension, Michelin Tires, Pete, Andrew, Johnny, Kelly, truck driver. You know, everyone in the Blackfoot team doing an awesome job. Red Bull, Oakley, Etnies, Mia Sutherland for helping me out with my training program. My dad and my mom for being great supporters. Thank you guys, and for coming out. You guys are awesome.
Yeah, Dusty.
A choked up Dusty Klatt accepts a sword for taking the overall here today. I want to thank you for joining us. Remember to support all our sponsors. Log on to cmrcracing.com. Find out who they are.
You have been watching the 2006 Canadian Motocross Championship. Brought to you by Motovan.com, Canada's source for power sports parts and accessories. Royal Distributing, Canada's power sports leader. And Kodiak Boots. For Ryan Gold, Brian Costa, and Mark Stallybrass, I am Mark Travers. Hey, that is a wrap. We'll see you next year.